man, Tom Brady complaining about there's a lot of mediocrity in the game. He was on Stephen A's podcast. I forget what exactly his YouTube channel called. I know he had like a podcast with ESPN Plus, and he talked about how the game, ain't as good as it used to be. He talked about the coaching, the development ain't as good as it used to be. And to be honest, once you look in the good world today, really ain't nothing that is as good as it used to be. And the things that are better than it used to be is mostly retaining to the convenience of the internet. Being able to connect with your friends through the internet and social media and be social through social media and be able to get things through email. It's things of convenience. Being able to DoorDash and Uber Eats food. Being able to order groceries and, you know what I'm saying? Because, a city like Detroit, where I live at, the big three, the rumor is the big three, pretty much stopped Detroit from industrializing transportation system, which would have gave us subways all over the city of Detroit where we can get to where you had to get to. Therefore, you didn't have to worry about paying these high car insurance prices and worry about how you're going to get there. And then the reason they allegedly stopped it was because people wasn't going to be buying cars. Because you wouldn't need a car. You could just get on the subway and get where you need to get to. So it's always politics, but, and he said that, the hits, Rodney Harrison, Ronnie Lott, Ray Lewis couldn't play today. He said if they hit guys, they'd be suspended. He said that, I threw the ball certain areas. I didn't throw balls in certain areas because I wanted to protect my guys, because I knew a guy like Ray Lewis, if I threw it over the middle, was going to knock, one of my guys out, and I need my good players. And he said that's how they combated. Avoiding those big hits, them helmet-to-helmet hits. And he said that, it's really watered down the game, the rules. Now, the reason the hits came into effect was money. One hand, it was the lawsuit for concussions, which, that was, if you did a tree branch, that just stemmed from the NFL not giving players lifetime benefits. That's exactly where that came from. They didn't want to get NFL players lifetime benefits. So NFL players had to sue to make ends meet. And then the other half of it came from needing to protect their stars. When the quarterback was out, we knew a team virtually had no chance other than Nick Foles and Hostetler in the 90s with the New York Giants. You knew they really didn't have a chance without a quarterback. And what's so funny about it, Shannon Sharp pointed this out on him and Chad Johnson's show late at night, which is growing fantastic. It's a great show, by the way. He said Tom Brady was the reason they implemented the rule to protect the quarterback when you couldn't go too low on the quarterback. Pause. He said he implemented that rule because I remember that when somebody hit him low and he blew his knee out and Castle had to finish the year and the Patriots went 11-5 and still missed the playoffs. He was the reason they implemented a lot of those rules, because he was lucrative. But at one point he did play a nice portion of his career where, where you had to, you could hit him. But he said they practiced the fundamentals so that wouldn't happen. They practiced that, throwing the ball low so he couldn't hit your guy low or high or nothing like that. And the game is totally different. You can't, jam receivers like you want to jam them. You can't hit them. It's all about the money. They think fans want a high-scoring game. I think at this point, fans just want an organic experience. But all these leagues is pushing towards scoring. It's greed. But he benefited in the middle and the later half of his career from these rules. And now he out the game, he's saying, well, I ain't like it. He wouldn't have played 23 years if he would, if guys would have still able to have been physical with him. He wouldn't have. We all know it. It's a different game. I mean, they even changed the rules when Lawrence Taylor snapped Theismann's leg in half. They ain't changed the rules for that. They didn't. They did. say what they want to say, but but he is right. Protecting players, greed, not wanting greed over money, greed of making more money. It destroyed the NFL experience. When the NFL became popular, when Jordan went away, they wanted to make as much money, so now they got to protect the stars, and it's not the same game as it used to be. You have to go over that middle, man, or go deep and deal with that safety coming down and hammer down on you, bro. These receivers that's breaking all these records, they ain't have to deal with the shit that the other guys had to deal with. These tight ends, man, they actually deal with some shit. But Brady was like Shannon Sharp said, he was the reason they started the rule. He was the main beneficiary of that rule. And they still went 11-5 that year with Matt Castle at quarterback. People tend to forget that. But that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is, bro. So, but I just honestly, it's not. Even him speaking out, being an advocate, and being a reason a lot of these rule changes did happen, because how successful New England was and how lucrative it was for the league. It ain't gonna change nothing. But these guys thinking they better football players, they not. They don't have to play with the fear that you had to play with. And guys like Vontaze Burfict was in the wrong era. He'd have been a great player in the 90s, the 80s, maybe even the early 2000s. But he right. People talking about how the woke thing slowed down sports in the NFL and all that. Okay. It ain't as worse as it ain't as bad as it used to be. It ain't as bad as the how they changed the game, bro. It's a totally different game. Basketball too. It's a free throw shooting and 3-point contest. And I was telling somebody who a hockey fan I work with, and I watch a little bit of hockey. I said, if hockey ever go back mainstream, they gonna gentrify the shit out of hockey. And it's starting to creep back up in there, because they got the best playoffs as far, maybe of all outside of college. They got the best playoffs, right, for a multi-game series, bar none. Nothing compares to it. Nothing compares to it. So, like I continue, like I be saying, man, it's steep out here. It's steep. But he right about that. It ain't the same game. But you got a lot of coaches who probably really ain't qualified. If we keep it in 100, he said the coaching ain't dropped off. Of course it did. I mean, you can see that across the board. You can see that in boxing, where the coaching ain't as good as it used to be. For sure. For sure. For sure. But that's just my opinion on it. But at the same time, I just think ain't nothing gonna change. Only thing that changes if the fans take a stand. That's it. And we know they ain't gonna take that type of stand. Football is like a religion on Sunday for most people. But it is what it is, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And the subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video. Check out the NFL playlist, more videos like this. Hit the link tree. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. All that's in the description and the link tree. Excuse me. Peace.